Good morning, everyone. My name is Melanie, and welcome back to A Slice of Heaven Homestead. I can breathe a sigh of relief today because it is cloudy. And I always love a break from the heat. Now today is the perfect day to plant my fall seeds. So before we get started with our planting, I wanted to show you a clip from a few days ago when I went to Homes, the Japanese Home Depot, and I bought my seeds. There's quite a few translation failures. I'll put those in. I hope you enjoy them. So for these three planters, I'm going to be planting onions and garlic. Started from these little pieces of bulb. I'm going to be planting carrots in these two pots that I had my lettuce in before because the soil is nice and broken up. So hopefully that'll encourage the carrot roots to grow deep. I'm gonna start some romaine lettuce and some of the sunny red lettuce in these planters that I had the zucchini and the yellow squash in. So I decided to plant lettuce in these instead of carrots because I think the carrots would have a harder time getting through all those leftover roots because I have not broken down back into soil yet. Now in this pot I'm going to be planting some bunching onions. And over here where my failed green beans were this year, I'm going to plant some peas. Now I'm no expert at fall planting. This will actually be my first fall garden. So I'm just telling you what I've learned. Now when you plant a fall garden, you want to plant it in the late summertime. You want those seeds to germinate and get a good start before the temperatures cool down. They will grow slower in the cool weather, but some of those things you need them to grow slowly. Like the lettuce, if it's too hot, the lettuce will bolt and you won't get a good harvest. Carrots don't need to be sown very deeply. They're very, very tiny seeds. I'm just gonna haphazardly spread them all around here, and later on if they do start to grow and I think maybe they're a little bit crowded, then I'll go ahead and thin them out or redistribute them. I'm going to set up my irrigation in this pot again. This is just 1/4 inch tubing, and it has holes every, I would say 6 to 9 inches. I'll just go ahead and twirl that back around in here. Oh. Sorry about that. Don't have a tripod yet. Anyway, so for carrots is a root vegetable. And they need more phosphorus in their fertilizer than they do nitrogen. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit of this. Now that fertilizer has a balance of 9, 17, 9. That's 9 for nitrogen, 17 for phosphorus, and 9 for potassium. So I'll go ahead and water this in later. I did the same thing to the second pot of carrots. Now I did go ahead and put the fertilizer in first and work it into the soil before I placed my seeds. Yeah, I should have done that on the first one, but I didn't really think about it until afterwards. Okay, so on with the lettuce. This is romaine lettuce that I'm going to plant here. I'm just going to do the same thing, just spread the seeds around. Now with the lettuce, they like a good balanced fertilizer. So even on the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So get a fertilizer that's like a 5-5-5 or a 10-10-10, something that's got relatively even numbers. Now I'm a stickler for not wasting, so I'm probably only going to plant, well, I guess it's like 10 or 15 seeds there. And then when they start to grow up, I'll thin them out so that there's, you know, just maybe like 3 or 4 growing in here. Because if they get overcrowded, then they are weak and small. And I want them to grow nice and big. Now for this one, I just have one of these little sprinkler irrigations. And that's done pretty well in the past, so we'll just leave that one in there. I'll do the same for this red lettuce over here. They don't need to be buried really deep. Really, they just need a tiny bit of soil over top. And the good thing about planting in these grow pots here is that there's really no threat of the seeds being washed away during a big rain. Now over here where I'm going to plant the peas, I'm just mixing in a little bit of the balanced fertilizer. This was a 16, 16, 16. So equal parts of nitrogen, equal parts of phosphorus, and equal parts of potassium. This was where I had my green beans before, so I've got this nice trellis for them to grow up. I've planted peas before, and I seem to recall they do fairly well if they're planted close together. So why are they blue? I have no idea. A lot of the Japanese seeds that I get are dyed certain colors, so yeah, your guess is as good as mine. If these end up being a little bit too close, I'm okay with thinning them out. Just go ahead and poke those down. Probably about 1/2 inch or so. Maybe a little bit less than that. Now, I planted like 20-25 seeds in each pot. That's probably way too much. But in my experience with the Japanese seeds, they don't have as good of a germination rate as the ones that I can buy in the US. So I'll take my chances. Okay, so here's bunching onion seeds. Now, I've never grown these before, so I'm just going to go ahead and, well, haphazardly throw the seeds in there. That seems to be my method. Okay, so for the onions and the garlic, I'll just be planting them here in these pots. Now when you plant these little mini bulb starters, you want to look and see where the roots are. You want to go ahead and plant those down. Okay, so all of the onion bulbs are in. They are planted about an inch or so down, just where the root tips are. They're about an inch under the soil, and their tops are barely poking out here. They're planted about 2 or 3 inches apart, and I'm pretty sure these are going to be fairly small onion bulbs, so they don't need to be spaced out too much. So when you are getting your garlic ready to plant, I'm going to take off that outer skin. It should just break apart really nicely. Each one of these will become its own garlic bulb. Now, just like with the little onions, you want to find where the roots, at least where the roots were on this plant, and you want to plant that side down. Okay, well, I think they're all set and ready for the fall. Now, I did look at the weather forecast here, and it's supposed to be cloudy and off and on rainy for the next couple of weeks, which should be just perfect for these seeds to germinate and for things to start growing properly. So guys, thank you for joining me today. Spread a little kindness and encourage one another. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And until next time, we hope you find your slice of heaven too.